around 15k people. Around 15k, and almost what could go wrong went wrong. It went so wrong that I actually ran 16.79k. I know that's a bit precise, but I have to explain a little bit about this. I was meant to run 5k easy, 5k half marathon pace, and 5k at 5k easy pace again. So I set my alarm to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I was tired and I snoozed it, which is a mistake. So I overrun. I needed to be somewhere for a certain time, and I knew my run, I timed my run to take me around 2 hours, so I needed to be up. So that was the first thing that went wrong. So when I did actually wake up, I didn't actually have enough time to eat anything. So I was yogurts, and then I took some gels with me, and then I went out for the run. And as you know, my run starts up a hill. I got to the top of the hill and then doing roadworks, so I had to divert. So on the diversion, I was checking my watch to see if I'm staying in my right heart rate zones, and my watch kept going back to the home screen, so I couldn't see where I was. So I was trying to run, fiddle about with the watch, and fiddled about with it so much that I ended up stopping, and then I ended up resetting my run. Now, stopping to most people doesn't seem like a big deal, but I'm kind of like, for any of you that's X-Men's fans, I'm kind of like Juggernaut when it comes to running. Once I start running, I can go and I feel like I can't be stopped, but it takes a lot of time for me to start running, because as I tell everybody, that first 10 minutes is painful, and that's the time I want to stop. So I feel like I've got to start again. So I started my watch again, and then went back into the 15k run, and I said to myself, I'm only going to do, because I've already done because I've already done about 1300 meters, there or thereabouts. I was only going to do 14 on my watch. But then I thought about, I wanted the medal on my watch, so I just continued to run, and where I run, they have a farmer's market at the bottom, so on a Sunday. So I got to the bottom where the farmer's market was, and there was a lot of human traffic, so I was weaving in and out of that. Then I had to decide what route I was gonna take. I got to my 5k, and I did my 5k in around my normal kind of pace, and then I started the second 5k. Now, to start the second 5k, I decided I was going to take a gel, and so the second 5k being 6k, because I'd already run 1k. So at the 6k mark, I've taken a gel, and because I hadn't eaten properly, I had one mouthful of oats and yogurt. I took the whole gel, which was a learning curve, because at 8k my stomach started rumbling, and I knew that at some point I was going to have to go to the toilet. Now, I've heard stories of people losing items of clothing, but I didn't have any items of clothing that I could lose, so I was going to have to tough this one out, which meant that I couldn't take another gel, because if I took another gel, then I would have had a total I'd have been touching cloth. It would have been a mess. It would have been embarrassing. I don't know if there's no leaves for me to use, so I would have been in the mischief. It would have been a problem. So I kept running, and that 5k at half marathon pace was tough because I hadn't really eaten well. The gel was messing with my stomach, and the lactic acid in my legs started to build up. So I managed to complete the 5k at around my half marathon pace, but then I had another 5k to complete. And in the middle of this, where is 5k left, and I thought, oh, I've already run it, and I've only got to go at my easy pace. The lactic acids in my legs had fully taken over, and I started to cramp up. I think what I was doing was barely even running. I say that it's quicker than walking, definitely jogging, and it was a hard slog. At that point, I started to question, why am I even running, and why am I doing this to myself? But then I'd say to myself, you gotta keep going. And I thought about saying to my friends, you know what? I'm gonna stop this clock at 14k because I've already done one. But then I said, nah, my phone ain't gonna register it. My Strava might, but my phone isn't gonna register it that I've done. I'm not gonna get the badge, and I wanted the Apple badge. And also, my friends are gonna ask for receipts. They're gonna ask for evidence that I've actually run this. And in this day and age, if you can't prove it, it didn't happen. And as much as my friends encourage each other, as much as we encourage each other to want to run, there's always that element of toxic improvement. So I had to prove to myself that even though things didn't go the best, I was going to complete the run, and I was going to go beyond what the training plan says. Probably not the smartest thing to do, but it's something that I needed to do. So in the end, I got to 16k, and I think I did it in about an hour and 49 minutes, which isn't too bad considering in my last video I did 13k in an hour and 29 actually. Oh yeah, that's 3 extra k. So I did 3 extra k in about 20 minutes, which for me isn't that bad. So I was kind of happy with that. I was able to push through, and I've heard it a lot that when you're running, things are not going to go to plan all the time. Things are going to go wrong, and it's up to you to decide what you do when things go wrong. You can either go home and say, I'm going to do it tomorrow, but my last training week was kind of like that. I put off a run for a couple of days, and then found that I'd run out of time to be able to do it in the week because I had other things doing. So this run, if I didn't do this run, I would only have done one run for the week. I managed to go out there and complete 15/16k and hit 10 miles, which says to me that I've got another 3 miles to go, 3 and a bit miles to go for my half marathon, or I've got another 4k to go, 4 and a bit k to go for the half marathon, depending on where you want to look at it. Now, as tough as it was, it showed me that I would be able to get to the 5k. I'm going to get to the 5k, I'm going to get to the 20k, 21k. I'm going to get to the half marathon. Will I do it in the time that I've set? I don't know. All I can do is try. All I can do is better prepare. My cousin always says, if you fail to prepare, be prepared to fail. Now, I didn't necessarily fail because I managed to do my race, but the preparation, race. I managed to do my run, but the preparation for that run was not the greatest. It could have been so much better, but it just shows that sometimes when things are not always going to go to plan, they're not always going to work out in the way that you want to. So you just have to adapt, and if you're able to adapt, then that's a win, man. That's a victory. I have completed my longest run in difficult conditions. I found out about taking gels, so I know for the race. Maybe don't take the whole gel in one go. I can experiment with that next time. Maybe have a water bowl. I had a water bowl, but couldn't really figure that out. Get one of those running vests so I can put water in it or something. But I was able to run 16k in an hour and 49 minutes with very little fuel and not much. I didn't really have any water. Now, it's not ideal conditions, and I wouldn't recommend that you do it. But I'm making this mistake so other people don't have to. I'm sure that someone else has made these mistakes and said, and I didn't listen to it, so I had to figure it out for myself. But in figuring it out, I've realised that if I'm better prepared for the half marathon, and in the next couple of weeks when I've got longer runs to get on with, then I'll be able to get there. I'll be able to do this. I'll be able to do this half marathon. I'll be able to complete. I'll be able to get my medal, and I'm running for a charity, so I'll be able to raise the money from the charity that I'm running for as well. So that was my 15/16k/10 miles. We got done. We got completed. Today, it's just a reflection on that run and how it felt. And if you're gonna run, I understand that this ain't easy, but I'm not sure that it's supposed to be easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it. I've spoken to people about running in recent weeks, and most people think I'm crazy for actually running. And sometimes I think if you actually did it, you'd understand why. This is definitely one of those moments where I learned a lot about myself. I've been learning a lot about myself through this whole journey, but this is definitely one of those moments about persevering when things go wrong, and adjusting on the fly when things are going wrong. So we got, as I say, 16k, 5k's to go. Put your shoes on, let's go.